What's going on, guys? Hey, I'm Oliver. So selling a bike, people would usually come in with a general idea of what they want, a road bike, mountain bike, whatever it's going to be. And I would use that as a jumping off point and start asking questions, how are they going to ride it? Where are they going to ride it? What do they want to get out of it? Maybe their budget of just to get an idea of, where on the spec level they're going to land. And then based on their answers, I start kind of feeding it back to them based on in my head of what I'm thinking is going to be a good fit for them. And so I'll say, if they're looking for a mountain bike, I'll say, hey, you said you were looking to ride here in Kansas City, maybe go down to Bentonville, Arkansas once in a while. Sounds like we're maybe looking at a hardtail bike. Trails around here are pretty flowy up and down. Doesn't necessarily necessitate a full suspension. And in fact, a full suspension might actually hinder you because the rear suspension is going to eat up some of that efficiency. Every time you pedal, it's just going to create that pedal bob. And so I would kind of start going over the features of, why they're going to pick one style over the other. And in my head, I'm going to think of at least two options that I can show them. And so I'd pull them out, have them test ride both of them. And then I can get into, when they get back, I can ask them, which one did you prefer? What did you like over the other one? And then that way they didn't really have that option of saying, oh, well, I liked it, but I don't know. I, don't really know what to compare it to. They've got two options to compare it to. They're going to like one better than the other. And so they get to roll right into, oh yeah, I like this one better because this one felt a little bit faster. I like the bigger wheels, or the amount of suspension, or the brakes are better. And so it kind of gets themselves into talking about what they like about the bike instead of just going, yeah, I don't know, I liked it, but gosh, I don't know. And so usually at that point, you kind of go over, you can repeat, based on what you've told me, we're looking at this, and this, gonna fit your needs, gonna fit within your budget. Usually budget wise, just like cars, bikes come in different like tier levels. And so each model might come, might start at $1,500, might go up to $3,500 with, 3 or 4 tiers in between. And so I like to start high and then work down rather than start with a lower price to kind of like hook them in. That way, if you're looking at, if I offer them the $3,500 bike, yeah, they're probably going to go, yeah, I don't want to spend that much money. But then you get to go, well, the next tier down, you miss out on these features. You lose out on this stuff, rather than if I start on the $1,500 bike, they're going to have that price in their head. And then you have to kind of work your way up and be like, oh, for an extra $600, you can get this and this. And they're going to go, I don't know if that's worth it. But if you start high and go low, they're not going to want to feel like they're giving up features. And so that way you can kind of not manipulate them, but kind of help them talk themselves into a bike that might be a little bit higher spec, a little bit better. I mean, higher spec is going to be a better, the price goes up based on the performance of the bike. So they're going to do well with the more expensive bike anyways. But that way, as a salesperson, it's a lot easier to get kind of maybe that next tier where you wouldn't be able to talk them up to it if you had started lower. And so once they kind of get on the hook, what I do is I roll it back to service so that they can do one last service check, make sure everything's good to go on it. Usually took about 10-15 minutes. And so during that time, instead of saying, oh, it'll be 15 minutes, putter around the store for a little while, go grab lunch, come back this afternoon, it'll be ready for you, I would use that time to roll into some accessories and equipment. And so again, just kind of asking questions, looking at helmet, looking at, knee pads, new pedals. The bikes usually come with kind of plastic pedals, and so that's a really easy sell. Things like hitch racks, yeah, you got an SUV, but it's kind of a big bike. You're gonna have to take the front wheel off to get in your SUV. and that's going to get tedious after the first couple times. Let's look at some hitch racks that you can just put on the back of your car. It's going to be secure. You're not going to have to take the front wheel off. It's just going to be, you know, kind of, again, just kind of like build that value for themselves to make it sound, make them realize that they need it, rather than just feeling like you're tacking on extra stuff. You know, you kind of want them to feel that they're making a good decision, which usually they are. I mean, you're not really just trying to scam them or anything like that. And so by the time we're done working at that, service is usually ready for it. They roll it up, they got the bike, they've got all the equipment they need, they're good to go, and they're out the door. So that's how you sell a bike. Thanks, guys. Hey, I appreciate it. Talk to you soon.